Warning: small mistakes could get you deported from Canada in 2025. Welcome back to Canada Chronicles. Today, we're exposing a critical shift in Canada's immigration landscape for 2025. Small mistakes that have always mattered under the law, like a missing detail, an honest error, or a simple oversight, can now put your status at risk, and authorities are placing greater emphasis on data sharing and enforcement this year. Students, workers, permanent residents, and refugee claimants are all feeling the pressure as compliance checks become more thorough. That's why in this video, we're breaking down the biggest risks you need to be aware of, and by the end, we'll share how to spot the 10 red flags and protect your stay in Canada. A practical guide that could make the difference between keeping your future secure and facing removal. If you want to stay ahead on every change shaping Canada's immigration landscape, make sure you hit subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Let's get started. It's sharper than ever. In 2025, Canada's immigration system is leveraging better data and coordination, which means issues that might previously have gone undetected are now more likely to be flagged. The underlying rules are not new, but the consistency and speed of enforcement can feel tougher. Understanding how this works isn't optional. It's essential. Imagine building a life in Canada, only to discover that a small oversight, maybe a typo or a date mismatch, could unravel everything. Students, workers, permanent residents, and refugee claimants face elevated risk when applications or compliance steps are incomplete or inconsistent, not only for serious violations, but also for errors that seem harmless. Let's explore what kinds of mistakes can have real consequences and how to protect yourself and your loved ones. First, misrepresentation, even honest errors. Canada treats misrepresentation very seriously. Any false, misleading, or omitted information can result in refusal or removal. This has long been the law, and recent years have seen more systematic cross-checks. An error as small as a mismatched travel date, intentional or not, can be assessed as misrepresentation. In 2025, digital comparisons between applications, passports, and travel logs are more thorough and consistent. Double-check name spellings, dates, job histories, education, and prior visa refusals. A missing short-term job or misremembered travel date can trigger a 5-year ban. Once an officer flags a discrepancy, there is limited scope to correct it during processing, so prevention is crucial. Second, residency obligations. Counting days matters. Permanent residents must be physically present in Canada for at least 730 days within each 5-year period. Exemptions exist, such as accompanying a Canadian spouse abroad or working for a Canadian business overseas, but many people do not qualify for them. In 2025, border officials and immigration officers can verify travel history more easily through entry and exit records. You could be flagged for falling short even if you had compelling personal reasons. Keep careful records, boarding passes, entry stamps, lease or utility records, so you can document your presence if asked. 3. Visa overstays. Short lapses still create risk. If your study, visitor, or work status expires and you have not applied to extend or restore it, you are out of status. That can lead to a removal order. Canada's entry and exit information makes it easier to detect lapses, so even short overstays are more likely to be noticed. Always track your expiry date, apply early for extensions, and explore restoration promptly if you slip out of status. Overstay does not trigger automatic same-day deportation, but it places you at real risk. Fourth, work permit violations. Know your conditions. Working while waiting for approval without maintained status, taking full-time hours when limited, or changing employers without authorization are violations. In 2025, employer reporting and digital audits make these issues easier to detect. Stay within the hours, job type, location, and employer listed on your permit. If your circumstances change, update your authorization before you act. 5. Criminal record. Minor infractions can be serious in immigration law. Offenses such as impaired driving or theft can create inadmissibility under immigration rules. Since 2018, impaired driving has been treated as serious criminality, with significant immigration consequences for temporary residents and potential issues for permanent residents. If you have a past record, even abroad, seek legal advice. Explore rehabilitation or record suspension options where applicable, and always disclose truthfully. 6. Sponsorship failures. When family breaks down. Family sponsorships impose legal obligations on sponsors. If a relationship ends before permanent residence is granted, the application can be refused. If a person already is a permanent resident, a separation or divorce does not automatically revoke PR status. Status can be at risk if officers determine there was misrepresentation, such as a non-genuine relationship or other inadmissibility concerns. Maintain clear records of genuine relationships, joint leases, shared finances, correspondence, and seek advice promptly if circumstances change. 7. Refugee claim rejections. Removals can move quickly once final. If a refugee claim is denied and all avenues of appeal or review are exhausted, removal can follow on relatively short timelines. Departure orders typically allow 30 days to leave once enforceable. If someone does not comply, it can become a deportation order. Preparation is key. Document risks early, work with qualified counsel from the outset, and understand that waiting until a final refusal may leave little time. 8. Health inadmissibility. Know the standards. Immigration decisions can find an applicant medically inadmissible if their condition poses a public health risk or is expected to place excessive demand on health or social services. These standards are long-standing, but screenings and follow-up can feel stricter as data use improves. Always disclose health information truthfully, respond to requests promptly, and seek medical and legal guidance if you are concerned about findings or the excessive demand assessment. 9. Security grounds. Broad but evidence-based. Security inadmissibility can arise from terrorism, espionage, organized criminality, or other national security concerns. Screening draws on domestic and international data. In 2025, information sharing continues to deepen, which can surface past affiliations or contacts you may not have realized were relevant. Be transparent about associations, employment, and travel history. If you are flagged, get legal representation immediately. 10. Proposed enforcement changes. Know what's on the table. In June 2025, the federal government introduced the Strong Borders Act, also known as Bill C-2. If passed, it would expand certain enforcement tools, including the ability to suspend or cancel immigration documents and to adjust some asylum procedures. As of now, it is proposed legislation and has not been enacted. What matters today? Entry and exit tracking, coordinated data, and existing removal frameworks already allow officials to move more quickly when a file is enforceable. Keep your information accurate and your status valid so you are not caught off guard. Feel like your life could hinge on a single oversight? A removal order can require you to leave within specific timelines once it becomes enforceable, and failure to comply can escalate the consequences. The best defense is to prevent issues before they arise. Thanks for staying with us this far. We appreciate your time and hope you're finding this information valuable. How to spot the 10 red flags and protect your stay in Canada. Despite the risks, survival is possible, and it begins with awareness. Here's how to safeguard yourself. A. Double-check your documentation before submission. Small inconsistencies can read as misrepresentation. Verify names, dates, jobs, and travel history against passports and stamps. B. Track residency days diligently. Use a calendar and keep proofs like leases and utility bills. If you are a permanent resident spending time abroad, plan your returns to meet the 730-day requirement. C. Renew status early, never overstay. Apply for extensions well before expiry and learn about restoration options if you miss a deadline. D. Only work within your permit terms. If your employer changes, your hours increase, or your role shifts, update your authorization first. E. Seek legal advice for any criminal history, even seemingly minor offenses. Understand rehabilitation pathways and disclosure duties before you file. F. Document sponsorship authenticity, especially if a relationship changes mid-process. If PR is already granted, know that a breakup does not automatically revoke it, but keep records in case questions arise. G. Prepare refugee claims thoroughly and gather evidence early. If your claim is refused, timelines can be short after final decisions, so be appeal ready in advance. H. Disclose health issues honestly and respond promptly to medical instructions. Explore options where excessive demand is raised, including updated medical evidence. I. Be transparent about affiliations and travel to avoid surprises in security screening. If concerns are raised, obtain qualified counsel immediately. J. Stay informed on policy proposals and operational changes. Bill C-2 is not yet law. Monitor official updates so you know what might change and when. You may think enforcement is only about big offenses, but in 2025, precise compliance and accurate information matter more than ever. With care, record keeping, and timely action, you can reduce your risk substantially. Mistakes don't have to threaten your stay. Vigilance, preparation, and proactive steps are your best defenses. Canada's immigration system in 2025 demands accuracy and compliance. From misrepresentation to status lapses, from relationship changes to long-standing inadmissibility rules, the risks are real, but so are the solutions. By staying informed, keeping detailed records, and acting quickly when challenges arise, you can protect your future and keep your Canadian plans on track. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to give it a like and share it with others who need to hear this. Drop your questions or experiences in the comments below. We read everyone, and your story could help someone else. And of course, make sure you subscribe to Canada Chronicles and turn on notifications so you never miss the latest updates and strategies that could make all the difference. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.